Greetings, I'm Jane McKenzie, CEO, founder and owner of 365 Healthy by Choice. Prevention is better than waiting for when it's too late. And we have a choice 365 days a year to choose to be healthy. Today we're speaking about immunity and nutrition. The immune system is made up of the thymus gland, the tonsils, the gut, the appendix, the bone marrow, the blood, the white blood cells, red blood cells, beta cells, T cells, NKF cells, stem cells, and a host of other things that build up our immune system, which all need to be fed and nourished. What forms of nutrition can we use in today's life with the COVID-19 pandemic and very many other virulent strains out there affecting our bodies? So let's start with sunlight as a form of nutrition. As we step out on the balcony onto the grass, our body automatically in real time absorbs sunlight rays in different frequencies and different wavelengths to heal and align our bodies. This is a very tight electron spin, very close to the proton and the neutron inside the atom. And this is complementary from nature. We also have a look then at the plant kingdom, which encapsulates sunlight and undergoes photosynthesis to produce glucose for the plant and for animals and humans. Now, there's different forms of electron spin in the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom for that matter. The basils, the lettuces, the tomatoes of the world do not carry and have the same electron spin and nutrient density when one compares it to something like a reishi, shiitake, cordyceps, lion's mane, medicinal mushroom, or blue-green algae, spirulina, or a bee pollen, for example. The last foods I've just mentioned are superfoods. They're nutrient dense and they carry with them this very high electron spin, as well as protein building blocks not found in normal foods, as well as long chain sugars, also not found in normal foods. They're non-sweet sugars, feed the brain, feed the immunity. The minerals, the vitamins, the phytonutrients in these foods is far superior to the everyday plant foods that we're eating. So we need to really be aware of the availability of these foods and what they can do to build our immunity. All those foods will build our immunity. So when we're choosing, we need to choose carefully within the plant kingdom. A next step would be having a look at the animal kingdom. And some people choose to eat animal forms of food. So that electron spin is a little bit slower than the plant kingdom, and different depending on different forms of food. But just to say right now that a raw form of a food has a much higher electron spin than a cooked form, because simply when we've cooked the food, we've damaged the phytonutrients, we've damaged the life force inside a food, and that life force is in fact the electron spin. So just bear that in mind also when you're choosing what to eat and what to put on your plate, that a raw food does have a much higher electron spin. And we are an electromagnetic body anyway. Our body is made up of electrons, and we want to give our body the highest form of electrons possible. So we also want to look at the microbes. Now, if we go back to the blue-green algae, the blue part is the microbes, the green part is the plant. Many plants have a microbial and a plant aspect together. Otherwise, the microbial cloud lives around that plant. It's the same microbial cloud that the soil uses, the plants uses, animal use, and ourselves. So just remember also not to overwash your organic vegetables, because you will be washing away the natural microbial source that goes together with that food for optimum nutrition. And there are many other forms of things that will also feed us. For example, sound feeds us. Space will feed us. If you're in a domed room with 5, 6, or 7 corners, it's far better than being in a 4-cornered room with a flat ceiling that actually drains the electrons from us. So that's why the ancients looked for domed rooms and built domed rooms and domed houses, etc., etc. So that type of a space will also enhance our electron spin. Proper sleeping is very important as well, because that's when we do actually rest the immune system, but it's when we rest the nervous system, but it's when the immune system can restore and regenerate. We're sleeping with our cell phone next to our ear and the Wi-Fi on in the building or the house or room where we are. We are negating any form of rest and restoration from that immune system. And that means every single cell division is going to be damaged by the radiation. And if we're talking about processed food, toxic food, that will affect every single cell division. And we need to be focusing on optimum cell divisions, perfect, beautiful cell divisions with perfect DNA reconstruction in each cell. Very, very, very important. The people that we're with, some people build up our energy, they have good electron spin, some people will drain us. So we need to also be very sure of who we're interacting with and the effect it's going to have on our immune system. Very, very important. The air we breathe, of course, right now with COVID-19, not many cars are out and about, and we are all having a luxury of normal air, normal clean air. And imagine if the air is cleaning, how our lungs are cleaning. The inside of our lungs must be much, much cleaner than they were 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. So the air is important because air is important for our body. It's important to detoxify the body and thereby allow the immune system to carry out the function that it's there for, to protect our bodies against foreign matter. And we can also include in this water as a nourishment, really, because it is nourishing to the body, and it also is a solvent to carry the food to the cells and oxygen, as well as carry the wastes away. So the more pure the water source, the more life force full the water source, the higher the energy for our bodies. And here I'm alluding to spring water. So spring water is ideal. The pH is 7.4. It's filled with life force, filled with a substance called ormus, and that gives it the levitational properties to rise up against gravity and come out at the top of a hill, as opposed to water that, let's say, forced out of the ground. So optimum water would be spring water, and that is like medicine to the body. That will nourish the body and clean the body. So these are just some of the forms of high frequency foods. And with this array of electrons, certain foods are formed that do certain things, and parts of foods. For example, we have proteins. Now that is a group of electrons actually that will build and repair the body. We also have a group of electrons formed together called carbohydrates and sugars. And I mentioned the long chain sugars that you find in something like a spirulina or a reishi mushroom, far different to the short chain sweet sugar that we all crave so much. Far better for brain development, far better for immunity development. We also have the high frequency mineral, vitamins and phytonutrients in these foods. Also we can include here adaptogenic herbs that are grown beautifully in beautiful soil as well, because they will bring in the encapsulated sunlight but also the phytonutrients which our body really, really needs. So these are all forms of foods that we need to bring in on an everyday basis to nourish our body, and things to do, to be creative, to sing, to dance, to move, because this will all create a situation where the body can detoxify. And a body that can detoxify properly and that's nourished properly will build its immune system and in fact its DNA. Now along with this proper nourishment to build our immune system, we need to make sure that the blood is alkaline, a pH of 7.4. We need to make sure that the body's low in inflammation and we're eating low inflammatory foods. So obviously the processed foods, the heated oils, etc. are very inflammatory on the body. And hydrate ourselves and breathe properly. So even breathing, it's our posture that's so important. So this is how we move into what I'm calling a new paradigm. We need to move into a new paradigm insofar as our thinking is concerned, how we view our bodies, which has really come to the fore now with the COVID-19, how we feed the body, how we take cognizance of the immune system, and quite frankly, the future of food is now. We're speaking about food state nutrients. We're moving off from man-made supplements, which have toxins and have chemicals inside them, which can damage the body and reduce the immune system. So we need to be eating whole food state foods as nature intended. And then when received by the body's natural innate potential to heal kicks in. And that is what I focus on as a practitioner at 365 Healthy by Choice is bringing in choices of food to the body in the food state natural form, allowing the body to choose the electron spin, the shape, the atom, the molecule that it needs there and then to restore, realign, and build up the body's immune system. And that to me is common sense and it's simple nutrition. Any more information can be found on my website, www.365Healthy by Choice. You can email me at info@365healthybychoice.com. And I look forward to many more information slots. Thank you.